towards you. Your team's become very adept at playing with the lead, getting an early lead in games this year and leading at halftime. I think you only trailed in one game at halftime. Can you talk a little bit about that as opposed to playing from behind?
Well, you know, one of our goals is to be ahead at halftime because, you know, I think especially in the first quarter, that's one of the goals because, you know, as much as you talk about kids being competitive, I think a lot of kids are front runners. And when you fall behind, they start confidence-wise, and even coaches, when they start moving the ball on you and they score early, right away you're checking to see if you have to change things and stuff. So it leads to a lack of confidence. But you know, we like, that's why I take the ball all the time. If we win the toss, I like the ball, and you know, because you only get so many possessions, and you know, maybe 12 a game unless you're really, you know, moving the ball and creating a lot of first downs. But so I like the ball possession-wise because it's the best opportunity to keep it away from them and just put points on the board. But again, I think we've been behind. East Carolina was 14-0 before you blinked, and the kids came back. But normally, if you're going to come back, something like the kick return that Quincy had, something has to happen to erupt the sideline, erupt the fan base. And when you play away, you don't have that. You know, the only thing you have is your own sideline. Very few people are, you know, we travel fairly well, but the further from Orlando we get, the less fans obviously get there. So this game coming up this week is, you know, last trip we made there wasn't real exciting for us. You know, we came back and, you know, we were banged up, and so we understand what we have to get done this week. And, you know, I have a great respect for Mike Price and his coaching. I know the record is 2-7, but when you look at who they played this year, they played Oklahoma, tough. You know, they had a chance to miss some field goals. They played Wisconsin. You know, it was a 7-8 point game. Mississippi, and then every conference game they've been in. Really, Houston game they lost, but they had 6 turnovers, and still were down 45-7 and came back 45-35. So we're going to have a work cut out. I think Mike's done you know, I know the record's not what it is, but to keep his team playing with the great effort he's played and always upbeat with a lot of enthusiasm, it's a heck of a job that he's done. And if you look at the schedule that he had to play, I think he had a tough schedule. He really did.
What are the primary concerns, I guess, when you go are there concerns when you go so far away, when the players have a 4.5-hour plane ride? I know you guys have, you know, played BYU last year.
Nah, you know, I think anytime you're a strange environment, you know, some of the kids, I asked yesterday, I think there were only 3 or 4 kids that were there last time with us when we went to El Paso. But, you know, anytime you're into a strange alignment, a strange area, new, everything's new. You know, it's more sightseeing tour for some of these kids. You know, I doubt they'll ever get to El Paso again. All right, in their generation that they live. But you know, I think the big thing is that you got to get their minds right. You know, they always talk about the proper state of mind, and that's where they need to be. Especially when it's coming down now. You got the 3 games left, and each and every one of them are really important as far as to dictate what we want to get done with ourselves.
Defensively, you guys have continued to play very well. How much have the linebackers improved, especially in the run game? Are you seeing growth there?
I think more important, I think the front is getting off blocks. I think, you know, we're a gap, we're a gap team, but now we're a gap and a half team. We got to hit and get off blocks and cover half the gap inside as well as the full gap outside. I think that's what's going on. And also the linebackers are flat walling the line of scrimmage a lot better than they had. There was too many bubbles in there, and you can't play that way and play good defense.
What's up, fans? Come out to Bright House Stadium and watch us take on UAB on November 24th.